their swords locked, a true stalemate. From in between the gap, they catch a glimpse of each other's faces. Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. And in the last episode, Ragna the Blood Edge was on his way to reach the cathedral, which is the only way to get to the chamber of the Cauldron, when he was whisked away by none other than the whim of Rachel Alucard, who seemed to be in a very worse mood than usual. Fortunately, however, Ragna, albeit very slightly, managed to calm her down somewhat, and to her credit, Rachel Alucard paid him in kind by sending him straight to the cathedral anyway. But there is one individual who is here waiting for Ragna's arrival from the very start, and he even defied his superior's orders in order to do so. But Jin Kisaragi will not rest until he has laid eyes and blades with Ragna the Blood Edge. Ragna's face, distorted with rage, Jin's face, as cold as steel, red versus blue.
I was getting very tired of waiting. Long time no see, Ragna.
Yet again, this would actually be the first time that these two have seen each other since the tragedy of the church, but yet, as we all remember, this isn't the first time, at least for us. Ragna's mind is filled with flames. He sees the past. Memories of the past, a room filled with fire.
Jin, you bastard.
Memories that he would dearly wish had never have happened.
Why so angry? We're finally able to meet again!
Cut the crap, bastard.
Who would have thought that you were Ragna the Blood Edge?
Didn't you once say to Bang Shishigami that there was only one Ragna? Why would you think that Ragna the Blood Edge was somebody completely different? That makes no sense. Again, I would understand if the NOL had simply referred to him as the Grim Reaper or the SS-class criminal, but Ragna the Blood Edge would definitely make Ragna his first name, and since you happen to have a brother whose name just so happens to be Ragna, it shouldn't have taken anyone, much less you, that long to figure that out. And that was ominous. Something strange is happening here.
I'm impressed. You have the highest bounty known to man.
Indeed he does, and that phenomenon is still there.
Everyone's after this Ragna the Blood Edge.
Indeed they are, because he did single-handedly destroy quite a few branches in the various hierarchical cities.
Mind your own business. What is this strange sensation?
I couldn't begin to tell you, Ragna, but we should keep it in mind.
But you see, it is my business. You know I'm with the NOL.
Congratulations on attaining the rank of Major by destroying the Ikaruga Federation single-handedly with a bunch of troops at your side, Jin Kisaragi.
An enemy of the NOL is an enemy of my own. Just kidding. I've never thought like that.
Indeed you haven't. I wouldn't have made that mistake ever.
Yeah? You sound like you're having too much fun.
Oh, and you're not, brother?
And there's Jin's true twisted personality asserting itself.
Oh yeah, I am. Thanks to you, idiot.
Why do you have to be so cold to me, brother?
Says the man who wields Yukianasa.
Let's have fun like we used to.
Oh sure, why not? burning down churches and homes we used to live in for old time's sake. Let me think on that. Oh yeah, no thanks.
What's the matter, brother?
You're in my way. Get out of my sight.
Because as much as Ragna would want to punish Jin for his own sins, he has more important things to do. Very important.
That hurts, brother. Am I really getting in your way?
To put it bluntly, Jin, yes you are.
Don't make me say it again, Jin.
So it's true. I'm a nuisance to you. Then, I guess we are, after all.
Indeed you are. You, the NOL, you're all a bunch of, dare I say, obstacles and obstructions, preventing us from reaching our goal.
I see. I guess I'll have to kill you.
Here we go again. Once more onto the breach, Ragna the Blood Edge versus Jin Kisaragi. But there is a catch to this particular encounter, and that is the fact that Jin has a completely full meter there. Yeah, we need to oh. No. Ooh. Not today. We need to get our health back. Yes, it will. It will sting greatly. It can't allow you to unleash an attack. Back here.
Wait.
No, don't freeze me. POS. Maybe brothers, but that's no excuse. Correction drone. Oh, it's on. It's on now. It is time for the punishment that you so rightfully deserve, Jin Kisaragi. Not good enough indeed. You lose, good sir. Good
I have
day.
tons of questions that I need to ask you,
Indeed we do. Plenty of questions.
so I won't finish you off.
Indeed, because nevertheless, in spite of the actions that you have wrought, Jin Kisaragi, you are still Ragna's brother and sibling.
Just lie right there.
But that doesn't mean you're getting off the hook so easily.
Brother! I'm the one!
And, Jin is losing himself in his insanity, but buried under that twisted persona, he knows what he must do. The inevitable conflict that awaits between him and Ragna. A conflict that has many foreboding tidings. And that phenomenon is still happening, and it seems to be taking its toll on Ragna.
The hell is happening to me? What's this crazy vertigo?
Couldn't even begin to tell you, but that warning that Juve said is still ringing in our ears, or at least they are in mine.
Major Kisaragi! Are you alright?
That's a very silly question, considering his current state.
Major! Major! He's unconscious. He seems to be injured too.
Indeed, he has been.
Could this have been done by Ragna the Blood Edge?
Indeed it was, Noel Vermillion. Indeed it was.
Oh, good. The timing couldn't be more perfect. It's safe to say that the mission is complete.
What mission exactly are you talking about, Captain Hazama?
The timing couldn't be more perfect? If we were a little late, Hazama, Major Kisaragi would have been...
You seriously think so, Lieutenant? Do you think you can stop Major Kisaragi after he goes out of control? I don't think it's possible for even two people.
Well, it wasn't impossible for Ragna, obviously. The only way to stop him after he goes out of control is to pretty much knock him out cold.
Even more so if it's something that even the Major couldn't defeat. Ragna the Blood Edge was probably here.
Probably nothing. Indeed, he was.
But...
My duty is to restrain Major Kisaragi, and not Ragna the Blood Edge.
So those were your orders from the very start, on account of, Kisaragi going completely AWOL and disregarding his superiors in order to pursue Ragna on his own terms.
I have to say, this situation is quite convenient.
Convenient considering the fact that you often avoid combat whenever you see it, since you claim to not be a fighter, and also because Jin Kisaragi does possess the Nox Arcturus Yukianasa. And Noel isn't really happy with Hazama's words there. Although...
What's the matter, Lieutenant Vermilion?
Hazama, please continue attending the Major. I'll go after Ragna, whom I believe went inside. Another duty of mine is to restrain Ragna.
So Noel is determined to go after Ragna no matter what.
Oh, really? I guess you have no other choice then.
You don't sound particularly surprised by that.
All right. I'll see you later. I didn't realize this before, since I was panicking. But I haven't seen anybody since I got here. I've never seen a deserted department in the NOL before.
Indeed. Not only are there no platoons of soldiers stationed around, or guards, there are no other officers as well, or higher-ups here at the Kagutsuchi headquarters. That's definitely been a very foreboding mystery from the very start.
There's no way someone of Hazama's caliber would have missed that. But why?
Yes, indeed, because even though he might claim to be a lowly captain, he is in fact a high-ranking member of the intelligence department. And yet, Hazama himself has not once brought up the fact that there is strangely no one stationed here in the headquarters at all. Almost as if he knows that fact. Almost as if he knew that fact before we even arrived. Or before Noel arrived, that is.
If we leave Ragna roaming around like this, the situation will become worse.
Oh, I believe the situation is already becoming much, much worse, Noel Vermilion.
Why? Why did he say such a thing?
A very curious question there, but a very good one at that. Probably one that should have been asked beforehand.
That man.
Noelle follows Ragna's tracks, but she still has her suspicions about Hazama. Eventually she finds herself in the giant chasm that leads to the basement. The elevator control panel nearby indicates someone has already used the elevator to descend.
An elevator? Why is something like this here?
It seems that Noelle doesn't really realize what the elevator is for, but she will learn soon enough.
It seems to be going down. Ragna?
Indeed, Ragna is the passenger of that elevator, because he is descending from the cathedral down to the chamber of the Cauldron.
You seem to be working hard, Miss Noel.
Meanwhile, back at the cathedral...
Well... I'll be in trouble if you don't try harder.
Yeah, we were right to be suspicious of Hazuma of the intelligence department, and I don't think leaving an unconscious Jin Kisaragi in his care was probably the best move on Noel's part. But, it seems that things are actually, definitely taking an even bigger turn. Is Hazuma really, working under orders from the NOL superiors, or does he have his own agenda at work here? Hard to say, but in any event, Hazuma is not a man to be trusted. He seems to be pulling certain strings from behind the scenes, and he's probably still doing more pulling. Meanwhile, back with Ragna, he climbs into the elevator. With a roar, it begins to move down. This is a pretty snazzy elevator for the NOL. After what seems like an eternity, it finally grinds to a halt. This must be as far as it goes. Other branches have had elevators like this one, but none of them have had any that took so long to reach the bottom. Ragna can't help wondering just how deep underground he actually is.
Just when I thought it was taking too long, it finally stopped.
Well, at least that's convenient for us. The elevator doors open. Laid out before him is a tableau he's seen many times before. Indeed, we have finally reached our destination. Before us lies the very thing that Ragna the Blood Edge has been searching for, the Cauldron at the heart of Kagutsuchi.
So I guess this place does kind of look like that.
Well, it looks similar to all the other cauldrons that you've destroyed in the past, so why not?
Now then.
The time has come to finally get to work. And we finally get to save. I was getting a bit worried there that that was a long time between saves, but saving we must, and saving we shall.
So you have arrived, Dark One.
Ah, but of course, who else would be waiting for Ragna the Blood Edge down here in the Cauldron Chamber but Hakumen of the Six Heroes, the very person who is sworn to destroy the incarnation of the Black Beast, and the veteran warrior who was once upon a time known as Ragna's brother, Jin Kisaragi, in another era, in another life. But when we return, adventurers, this confrontation just got a lot more complicated. And you will see why. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.